Hi, Gypsy. I'm Christina. It's nice to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you too.
I watched the first episode of the show, and wow, it is powerful, it is moving, and it's your story. I mean, is that really why you wanted to invite cameras into your life so soon after you left prison? Is this your opportunity to give your version of events?
Yes, absolutely. So, from the moment that I was released until present, this
Mhm,
has been something that I have wanted viewers to be along this journey with me because
mhm,
it has been so many ups and downs. And going back to the prison confessions
mhm,
of Gypsy Rose Blanchard, that's when it started, and then this is a continuation on.
yeah.
And so by when I was about ready to get released, I was sitting in my prison cell and I was thinking about all this, and I'm like, I am so tired of this prison version of myself that
Mm,
I think people know me by and putting labels on me, that I want to kind of break that mold and show people who I am as an individual, take off the prison khakis, take off
mhm.
the ID badge, and be presented as who I am.
No, I think that's so important. And I know that you said earlier this year that you hadn't watched the Hulu show, The Act. Is that
Right.
still true? And is that maybe another reason why you wanted to do this show? Because you can kind of set the record straight?
Right. I watched one episode, the first
Okay.
episode, and I think Joey King did an amazing job playing me.
Hmm.
I was a little bit harder on Patricia Arquette playing my mom,
Yeah.
just because it's like it's my life. I am
Yeah.
very
Okay.
hypercritical of it.
Of course.
Um, and so I think, this show is about who I am today.
Hmm.
And I kind of feel like with the prison confessions, I've already cleared up so much misinformation as to my
Hmm.
past. And so this is very future based.
Yeah, no, it is. And the future, I mean, it looks bright. I mean, what was the biggest or the most challenging part about transitioning out of prison into everyday life? And did you realize like the level of celebrity that you were when you were released?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
Going back to your first question, but at at the beginning of transitioning, it's kind of like everything around me is different. And
Sure. Yeah.
even the language that people are using, yes, they're speaking English, they're using new slang than they
Yes.
used to. So that was something that I had to kind of like, are you insulting me or are you complimenting me? I don't even know at this point. And so that was a bit of an experience. But
Yeah.
before I got out of prison, I had no idea that there was this sort of hype going on.
Mm.
There were people counting down to my release.
Right.
There were TikTok videos galore about it. So it wasn't until, I come out my first day out of prison, I'm going shoe shopping because the
Hmm.
the
Right.
boots didn't
Yes,
fit.
the boots
Everybody said
didn't
the boots didn't fit.
fit.
So I go for my new pair of shoes. There's a guy on the sidewalk with a camera that's like Gypsy, and he's like taking photos of me, and I'm kind of like, whoa, who is this guy? Why does he know my name?
Sure,
So
it's got
I
to be
was
so
kind of,
strange.
it was, and so I felt like I
Mhm.
was like the last to know
Mhm.
um that I was the sort of pseudo celebrity, but I don't like being labeled a celebrity. That's just another title put on me by
Mhm.
society, and I'm just Gypsy. Like,
Yeah. Were you expecting to kind of come out and obviously you couldn't go right back into your everyday life because it was going to be totally different. But did
right.
you expect the transition to be a little bit easier? Was it harder for you than you thought it was going to be with this level of attention?
It is because I realized a long time ago, back while I was even in prison, that there are certain things that come with a high profile case and a high
Yeah.
profile life that I thought I would have left that behind in prison,
Hmm.
but then it followed me outside of prison. And so
Right.
there's even certain things that make it harder. It makes it harder
Hmm.
for me to sort of blend in with the crowd and have a nice, easy, go with the flow life.
Hmm. You experienced probably so many new firsts upon your release. And in the months since, what has been your favorite first that you got to experience?
Well, goodness, it's so much. I mean, It's the simple things. So it's like I had Taco Bell. Ken had taken me to
Yes.
Taco Bell for the first time and like bought
Uh-huh.
everything on the menu.
Right.
And so that was enjoyable. I went to the beach for the first time because I've been to a lake
Right.
in the past, but I have not been to like the ocean where I could
Mhm.
walk on the
Yeah.
sand and know what that feels like. And so that was a wonderful first.
I love that. A lot of people are going to want to know, have you met Taylor yet? Has the
No,
dream come true? No. Have you spoken at
no,
all?
no. No,
No.
not at all. No, I like her music. I think unfortunately, in this time, the whole Taylor Swift obsession
Mhm.
has been so overblown in the
Right.
media. I'm like, I like her music, but other than that, I don't have her posters up on my wall. I'm not being extra.
You're not being extra. But you did meet Kim Kardashian. You're going to be on this season of the Kardashians. What was that experience like for you?
It was a very good experience. I have
Mhm.
a lot of respect for Kim and the work that she does on prison
Yeah.
reform.
Mhm.
And so like for me I've been on the opposite side of things
Mhm.
of the fence. And so I have a lot of opinions about prison reform. And so I
Mhm.
think it was a wonderful opportunity for us to sit down and talk.
Yeah, definitely. We obviously see a lot about your marriage in this season of the show, and we kind of see the unraveling of it as well. You said in the show that you fell in love with Ryan because he wasn't just in love with the idea of you. Now, looking back on it, do you feel like he was?
I think that for us, we had been together for 3 years. We
Sure,
had been
yeah.
in a 3-year relationship. And that in itself had many ups and downs while I was still in prison. And do I feel like Ryan met me with with the intention of any sort of media or fame clout chasing? No, I think that I was
Okay.
just Gypsy at that time to
Yeah.
him.
Hmm.
And then I think anybody could kind of get a little carried away with coming out and realizing that everybody knows my name.
Yeah.
But that's with anyone. I have had friends that their opinions or their perception of me has been kind of affected by
Hmm.
that. And so I constantly check in on friends, family, significant other to say, hey, remember, I'm just Gypsy at the end
Yeah.
of the day.
Hmm.
Don't let all the smoke and mirrors cloud me of who I am to you.
Yeah. I'm sure we'll see as the season develops. But when did you kind of realize that, maybe this marriage is just not going to work for me?
I think it had been over time, and
Hmm.
people are going to see there was not just one set thing that led to that decision. It was a combination of a bunch of things
Hmm.
um that I wasn't happy, and it's kind of like I wanted to be happy. And I think so
Sure.
many women can probably relate to that, where it's like you
Definitely.
want this relationship to work, and so you stick it out, and then
Hmm.
you wake up in the middle of the night and you're like, I'm not happy. The other person is, but I'm not. And
Yeah.
I'm living in my body. I'm the one that has to walk my path. And it's not fair to the other person to lead them on any further.
Right. No. And like you said before, like you have been living in prison pretty much your entire life until now. And I'm sure you just want to do whatever it takes to make yourself happy at this point. And I
Right.
commemorate you for that. I really do. You do talk a lot about, consummating your marriage on the show. Any regrets about that at all and showcasing that on TV?
I mean, no, I mean, we were going through this
Mhm.
show, and we were showing what was going on in my daily life. So I mean,
Yeah.
that just comes with it. We were newlyweds, and we're gonna go through all of that.
You're gonna you're gonna do what newlyweds do.
Right.
He said that, the split did come out of the blue for him. I know, when you filed for divorce, you also filed for a restraining order. Um, what do you have any sort of relationship with him today? Are you hopeful in the future that maybe you can be friends?
Well, I would like to clarify that that restraining order is on finances. That is
Got it.
not
Okay.
no contact order.
Got it.
And
Okay.
that's just a basic divorce proceedings.
Okay.
So, we have been in communication sparingly
Hmm.
since I filed.
Hmm.
And I wish him the very best. I think
Yeah.
right now we have chosen to not communicate anymore.
Hmm.
Just because I think it's probably best for our healing at this
Yeah.
point.
Hmm.
And we're going to be going through the divorce and wishing each other the best. I think it's important too for us to not let the media pit us against each other. We're not
Hmm.
about that. I don't want to be
Right.
about that. He doesn't want to be about that. And so realizing that, hey, this didn't work out. Okay, we're going to go our separate ways. Hopefully, I know the hurt is there, but hopefully we can move on from that and think of each other fondly going in the future.
I think that is a wonderful way to handle it and a wonderful way to look at it. We do see that maybe Ken was a point of contention in the relationship. Is
Mhm.
that fair to say? And was that the
It's fair
reason?
to say.
Yeah. And was that a big reason for the split?
Honestly, it wasn't.
Mhm.
It was, I think, an insecurity that was there
Mhm.
for a very long time.
Yeah.
So back in the prison confessions in
Mhm.
episode 6, you
Mhm.
see that, I talk about having a dream about Ken. I talk about Ken.
Mhm.
I called Ken 2 weeks before I got married. So, Ken has consistently been brought up in a way that, I can never let go of my feelings, but I put them on the
Mhm.
back burner to do what was best for my marriage.
Yeah.
And so having that be a point of contention has been a thread throughout, but I didn't leave Ryan for Ken.
Got it.
That was
Mhm.
just sort of like a realization, hey, we still love each other
Mhm.
after the fact.
Right. Yeah. I mean, obviously, I know like physically it's different because you are seeing each other in person, but what makes the relationship different now as opposed to when you were engaged before?
Well, now we are older because we met in our,
Mm.
our mid 20s.
Mhm.
And, I just went to prison. So I had
Right.
a lot of growing and maturing to do.
Yeah.
Ken was working in Seattle as a bartender, and,
Mhm.
he was young. And so it's kind of like we met at a point in our life where I don't think it would have worked out at that point because we had a lot of life and maturing to
Mhm.
do. And so now that we've had a couple more years under our belt, we're reconnecting. I'm learning about relationships, and I can take
Mhm.
what I've learned of what to do, what not to do from my relationship with Ryan and apply that to my relationship with Ken going forward and realizing what I will stand for, what I won't stand for. Mutual respect is super important. And, we have all the little things that I think work now. Right
Mhm.
time,
Yeah.
right place.
Definitely. It's amazing how the universe works that way. I mean,
Right.
are you hopeful to get married again? Do you want to have kids in the future?
I mean, I definitely think that, marriage is something that I'm open to again. I have to get divorced first, but,
But you have to, yes,
you,
we have to make
you
sure
know,
that's a signed, sealed, delivered.
right. I'm open to it in the future, but we're trying to take it slow right now. And as for kids, yes, absolutely. I want kids someday. I think that I'm gonna be a good mother. I think, Ken would be a wonderful father. And so we'll see what the future holds for us.
Yeah,
Every day is
definitely.
something different. It's
Every
a new
day is
beginning.
something different, I'm sure. You talk sometimes in the documentary as well, in the docuseries about how sometimes you still have nightmares about your mom.
Yeah.
Is it hard for you to talk about her now still?
It is, I'm
Mhm.
going through the healing process of processing those emotions that I feel towards myself and towards
Yeah.
her. So I still have, like, I have been diagnosed with PTSD and I
Mm.
am on
Mhm.
medication for it. So
Okay.
then when the nightmares come, it puts me in a bad state of mind, and it takes me a
Mhm.
day to come out of that negative mindset, and it takes work.
Yeah, I'm sure it does. I'm sure it takes a lot of work. I'm sure every day is probably a healing process. I mean, do you feel like you're finally free though?
I do. I do. Now
Yeah.
that I'm back home with my family
Yeah.
and I'm adjusting, now that the show is kind of wrapped up, it's kind of like
Right.
I'm adjusting and everything is kind of slowed down a little bit
Yeah.
to where I can find my footing and feel that freedom.
Definitely. You said that you have been able to talk about forgiving others for mistakes that they have made. Have you been able to forgive yourself?
That is a daily work in progress.
Yeah.
I can't say yes, I can't say no. It's just something that
Mhm.
I'm working on in therapy.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I wish you the best in your healing process. And I have to say,
Thank
you
you.
look fantastic.
Thank
Do you feel good? I know you got your
I do.
rhinoplasty. You got blonde. I love it. Was this something that you wanted to do for yourself? Did you ever feel pressure
Yeah.
at all to kind of look a certain way, or since you are
No.
so much
I
in the
think
spotlight?
that those changes for me was always I had a vision for myself
Hmm.
and I went for it, and my vision for myself was a certain type of nose, so I got that done. I wanted to try the blonde. I love it. So it
Yeah.
was just, it was about the internal healing, and then people are kind of seeing the external healing as well.
Sure. Yeah. Is there anything else that you want to do when it
No,
comes to like makeovers and
no,
things like that?
I'm
No?
happy. I'm happy
You're
with
happy.
just this.
Yeah. You were in prison for a while. A lot of beauty things changed. Are there beauty products that you swear by now?
Oh yeah, like lotions and
Mhm.
moisturizers every
Yes.
night. Swear by
Ev-
it.
Every single night. How would you say that your relationship with your family has changed since the past few months? I know that, maybe there was a lot of healing that your dad said that the two of you would have a lot of questions that the both of you would have. How would you describe your relationship with your family today?
I have a great relationship with my family. Like
Mhm.
on a nightly, my stepmom Christy and I watch movies, chick flicks. My
Nice.
dad has taken me, crabbing, and we've
Mhm.
done like, father daughter things.
Mhm.
My sister and I have gone shopping. Like,
Mhm.
it's just kind of like those special moments that I should have always had with my family. I'm just
Yeah.
now starting to have. So I think it makes it just a little bit more extra precious.
Definitely. And you said that you want people to remember for the work, remember you for the work that you are doing now. So what do you hope your legacy is? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? And do you want to continue letting people into your lives this way?
I think what I hope for my legacy is to show that, yes, I had a very tragic upbringing.
Mhm.
I made choices that I'm not proud of, and I take that full responsibility on those choices that I made. Um, However, I want to be one of those stories that you read about and you're like, okay, this is not a hero, but this is not a villain. This is
Mhm.
someone very relatable that is flawed, but also have been through a lot and they overcame a lot.
Mhm.
So I don't want to be remembered for the crime or my actions at that time, but
Mhm.
I want to be remembered and known for overcoming
Yeah.
a source of hardship.
Mhm. Is that what you hope? And finally, is that what you hope people take away when they watch this show too? Do you
I
hope
do.
people?
I do.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Well, Gypsy, thank you so much. I really
Thank
appreciate your
you.
time. And thank you for opening up your life and telling your story. I really appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.